Hey, welcome back. I'm glad you could join us today. Today we'll be doing a Bob Ross tutorial on a Stratocaster guitar. So, let's have some fun. Hey everybody, my name's Chris. Today I'm going to follow a Bob Ross tutorial on this guitar, and we're doing it to raise money for animals and pet owners during the time of the COVID-19 crisis. Let's get started. Let's watch some Bob Ross together.
Hi, welcome back. Certainly glad you could join us today. I thought today we'd do a painting. It's very simple.
I love Bob Ross.
We use 18 by 24 inch canvas, but you use any size that you like when you're doing yours.
I'll be using a guitar-sized canvas.
And maybe right here we'll do that. That's all there is to it. Okay, got that one finished.
Oh.
Is that easy? We'll go into a little bit of cad yellow. There. Just working the yellows out here. A little more of the yellow ochre. Come right on around. Something about like that.
Already kind of messed it up. I mean, had a happy accident. I feel like I need a softer brush than what he's using.
So without cleaning the brush, go touch a little bit of the lizard crimson. Don't get a whole bunch.
All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves here, Bob.
And just begin blending that together. There we are. I like that.
All right, gotta catch up with Bob here. He's moving much quicker than I am. Let's see here. So I'm using acrylic paints. He's using oil paints. Acrylic paints typically don't really work with this style of painting, but I used a technique to try and emulate the wet on wet that Bob uses, because he gets these beautiful blends and things going because he uses a wet on wet technique. I'm using a retarder, which makes the drying process happen slower. So I used a 10% retarder on the guitar with some gesso, and I'm using that to try and get the same sort of mixing thing that he's got going on with his. And it's not really working, but it's part of the fun. All right, let's go see what Bob is mixing up now.
Made from sap green.
Sap green?
Just the lizard crimson. That's one of my favorite colors.
Okay.
It sort of matches all this. It sort of works together.
One thing about acrylic is that it just dries almost instantly. So I keep having to go back to water to just kind of make sure that it flows with everything else that's already on my guitar canvas here. And another interesting thing about working on a guitar as opposed to working on a flat canvas is that I'm working in 3D. So I built this jig so I could turn the guitar around and continue the painting on the other side. And hopefully that'll work out. We'll see. Part of why I'm doing this is to kind of show you that even if you don't have the exact things that you need and you're not doing the exact same painting, you can still follow along with one of these videos that are on YouTube and really come up with something cool. Hopefully it turns out cool. We'll see. I saw this painting and I thought it would look really cool on a guitar, and I looked into using oils on a guitar, oil paints on a guitar, and the results were not so good. So I then looked up how to use the acrylics, which I already had and I'd used on other guitars, and see if that was an option for me, and it seems like it might work. I mean, it could be a total disaster, but it's worth trying out and seeing how it feels in the end. I'm either going to get a really cool guitar out of this or a really cool experience where I learned that this doesn't work. One thing that I'm noticing with this is that the blending is not really working out very well with this kind of paint. You'll notice Bob's painting is very well blended in. Mine's not really going through like that, but I'm gonna keep working at it and see if I can get it to look kind of good. And there's no backside to Bob's canvas, so I'm gonna have to go in and sort of make something up here. So I'm gonna put a little bit of the yellow here as a horizon line, and then gradually go up from here into the darker colors, just to make a sky that sort of matches the other side of the guitar. Ooh, got dark quick. It's actually kind of weird using a brush on the guitar. I've used an airbrush on the guitar, and more recently using spray cans a lot more. So to actually take a brush to the guitar and paint the entire guitar with a brush feels really, really strange.
All right.
Oh, that's fun.
You could certainly change. I'm just blending all these colors together.
All right, we're gonna do some blending. Let's see if that works. So what I'm doing now, I'm getting it wet with water and seeing if I can pick up some of the pigment as well. I'm adapting acrylic techniques to Bob's oil techniques. What ends up happening is I end up scraping off the paint that was already there, and then if I go back and try and rework it, it just peels it right off of the guitar, which is not ideal here. But I'm trying to get some blending going here. I watched a couple of YouTube videos and a couple of blog posts on making acrylics act like oils, like in a Bob Ross sort of setting, and I'm finding that to not work quite as well. Maybe it works better on a canvas. If you happen to try this at home on a canvas, let me know how it turned out, because on a three-dimensional wooden object, it's having some struggles.
We want this to be the lightest, brightest part of this whole painting, right here. There, and just begin blending that outward. Now you can do this several times to achieve a desired light. You'll put the indication of a little sun. We can do a little finger paint right there.
Finger painting? Oh yeah, that's my little sun right there. So you can see, again, my paint isn't mixing in with my other paint, so I've got to almost put that paint back in there. But with the Bob Ross technique, you don't have to do stuff like this. Like, I'm adding paint. With his, it lifts up the wet paint that's underneath. And I just don't have that luxury here because of how I'm painting this. Look at those little duders. Yes, we're doing trees! I also don't have the same colors that he has. I got as close as I could, but he's got a different set of colors than I do. I'm just kind of going off of the acrylic colors that I had. Put the trees right in here.
A little bit of the Indian yellow in it. And put it in. Just showing some.
Okay, Bob. You forgot about the back of the guitar. We gotta do that first. Alright, I think I'm gonna have some happy little trees right up in here. So we'll start right here.
I'll tell you what, sometimes you have to get a little crazy. Let's take a little bit of that white.
Hold on, Bob. I'm not ready to get crazy quite yet. Alright, I'm just trying to get some general definition of planes in here. Alright, that's kind of fun. And then he just covered everything up with the brown, so I'm going to go back in with my 2-inch brush, and since my liquid white keeps drying, I'm going to apply some more liquid white. He painted the bottom of the guitar with some brown, and so I'm taking that brown color and I'm mixing it with the liquid white that I prepared, really trying to get something even that I can kind of work with for the rest of the painting. And also make sure that there is at least like a solid coat of paint on the guitar on all sides, so that I don't end up with like a patch somewhere that I don't have paint on that I need to try and match the color. So if I get a nice even sort of pink and brown color scheme going, just try and make sure there aren't any spots where I haven't put paint.
Just by doing this, it's all you have to do. Far, far away. Just something like that. We don't know where it goes, but we don't know that we don't care. Doesn't matter.
Well, in my world, it goes around to the back of the guitar.
Just tap. All you have to do is tap. Just get in there. Tap the devil out. I like little trees. They're some of the nicest people in the country. There. See? There it is. I don't want it to be lonely. Maybe there's a little family up here that lives in.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some trees here and maybe here? Yeah, no, here. I gotta go here. We're gonna build a house now, Bob? I don't think I can actually scrape out the shape. I'm gonna try, but because it's acrylic, it keeps drying on me. So I will try and build a little house in here. Well, I can kind of scrape it a little bit. And he kind of did one of these. Yeah, see, it's not really scraping at all. Like, I can really scrape it and scrape the dried paint off. Okay, well, he's filling it back in anyway. I think it's mainly to just sort of rough out the shape of the house. So I'm gonna rough it out here. I thought if I made the sound it would work better. It did not.
Freedom, at least on this piece of canvas. Brown and white, no pressure, no. There.
So I'm gonna fuzz mine out a little bit. I don't want it to be standing out too much. I kind of want it to fade into the background. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my fan brush to sort of blend.
Squirrel one more time.
Yeah, show us the squirrel.
A couple times in this series. He likes to live in my pocket. Hope you enjoy seeing them little rascals. They're really special. And I like to share them with my friends.
You know what, Bob? I love seeing those little rascals. Now a lot of this is going to be covered up with the pick guard. So I'm not really spending a whole lot of time on it. I might put a clear pick guard on it, but it's unlikely with this style of guitar. And then down here, I think we're gonna go pretty heavy with this green for now to try and make it match the rest of the guitar.
Maybe a few little sticks and twigs that lead right over here. Maybe here it comes.
Whoa! Whoa, Bob! What are you doing?
Weird noises.
Were those the weird noises? Did that work?
Go back to your liner brush. The paint thinner though, to make the paint very thin so it'll literally flow right over the top of the paint that's already on the canvas.
I'm not using paint thinner, I'm using water.
It brings it to a very short brush has got the sap green and all the yellows on it. Tap a little color.
I'm gonna put some trees on this side as well, just sort of even out both sides of the painting here. Okay, here is the finished guitar. I want to thank Bob Ross for posting that video on YouTube. I'm going to link it in the description down below in case you want to try this. I really like how the back turned out, And I like the front too. I think overall, considering how difficult it is to transpose the technique of wet on wet oil painting with acrylic paint, which dries very rapidly, even with the retarder. I'm gonna let this whole thing cure and dry and then cover it in guitar lacquer, and then it will be an actual playable, nice guitar. As I said before, all of the guitars I'm building right now are for COVID-19 relief, and I found a particular organization that helps to take care of pets and pet owners during this time. A lot of people are out of work, it's hard to afford things, and pet food and supplies are very important. So I really hope you check out the link below. This particular guitar I'm going to continue working on next week. I have a really cool idea for the headstock of this guitar. On the last guitar I made a really cool headstock. I'm hoping I can do the same for this guitar here and bring it all together. Thanks again for checking out today's video. If you like these types of videos, I've got a whole bunch on my channel. I build a bunch of different kinds of guitars and then I give them away to friends, family, and people who watch the videos like you. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if that seems like something interesting to you. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Write something nice in the comment section. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.